Gianni Infantino, 10 years as FIFA president. Published Gianni Infantino has been FIFA president for 10 years when he was elected with a remit to rescue football's world governing body. The decade since has been one of reform, expansion, and, more recently, controversy. Infantino was installed with FIFA engulfed by claims of widespread corruption, and after predecessor, Sepp Blatter had resigned. FIFA's finances were in a desperate state. There was a reported $550 £392 black hole, external after sponsors walked away.
After you work out, you can feel worn out. Reach for core power and rise to a whole new level of recovery. High-quality protein to build muscle. The nutrition you need to power on.
Ready to order? Scan the QR code now or visit grabdeal.us/10.
In Infantino, the game felt it had found a safe pair of hands. "I will work tirelessly to bring football back to FIFA and FIFA back to football," he said. 10 years on, there can be no doubt the governing body is in rude health financially. It expects to report record revenues, external of 13 BN 6 BN, for the 3-year cycle through to the end of this year. But those figures only tell part of the story. They are boosted by the controversial Club World Cup and the biggest ever World Cup with its high ticket prices. Last month, Infantino and FIFA were widely criticized for the proposal to sell stakes in its competitions, including the World Cup, to private investors, with football's global governing body ultimately scrapping the plan after 4 days of intense debate. That led to UEFA declaring it had lost confidence in the Swiss, who has also clashed with players' unions and European football. This is the story of his presidency and his legacy. A new day, a new dawn. It is easy to forget Blatter's successor, as FIFA president was supposed to be Michel Platini. But after Platini was drawn into the scandal at the organization, both he and Blatter were later fully cleared of corruption charges. Infantino was thrust forward as UEFA's preferred candidate. As the General Secretary of European football's governing body, Infantino had been the right-hand man of President Platini for 7 years. But he was an unlikely savior, a man who was rarely in the consciousness of the average football fan. To many, he was just the guy who presented Champions League draws. 10 years on, you would be hard-pressed to find a football fan who does not recognize him. Turning FIFA around was no small task. The U.S. Department of Justice had indicted a large number of top executives, and it needed root and branch reform. 2 pages of Infantino's manifesto were devoted to more than doubling development money for member associations. That would be for new competitions, for infrastructure, and even to cover travel costs for smaller nations. Expanding the World Cup was also included, though to 40 teams. Within a year, it had been rubber-stamped as a 48-team tournament. In the first round of votes, Infantino led Sheikh Salman bin Ebrahim Al Khalifa, president of the Asian Confederation, by 88 votes to 85. Infantino only moved clear when the 34 votes originally cast for Jordan's Prince Ali bin Al Hussein and French executive Jérôme Champagne were reallocated. The final score was 115 votes to 88. "This is a new day, a new dawn," said then Football Association Chairman Greg Dyke, welcoming Infantino's win. He is not a politician and he is not an ego. Infantino, meanwhile, declared he would restore the image of FIFA. "It's your money, not the money of the FIFA president," Infantino told delegates. "The money of FIFA has to be used to develop football." Infantino was true to his word, but to make more money, FIFA had to be creative. Infantino takes center stage over Qatar. The controversial World Cups of 2018 in Russia and 2022 in Qatar were waiting in Infantino's tray. Voting for the tournaments had been shrouded in controversy with claims of collusion and deals, but the deeds were already done. In his early years as president, Infantino kept a fairly low profile. It was only when the World Cup rolled into Qatar that he started to become a more public figure. Under pressure, amid repeated criticisms about workers' rights and claims of modern slavery in the country, Infantino hit back. He first called out hypocrisy and racism about Qatar in the European media, then made his infamous speech about discrimination. "Today I feel like a migrant worker." At every game he attended, TV cameras appeared to pick him out in the crowd. Reports, which FIFA declined to comment on, suggested television directors were advised that Infantino should be shown at least once each game, but not if he was on his phone. External Infantino starts to court controversy after the Qatar World Cup. Infantino made many more headlines, from hosting plans and new tournaments to disparaging remarks about the behavior of England fans. Infantino had promised an expanded Summer Club World Cup shortly after his election in 2016. The plan hit several delays, but 2 days before the 2022 World Cup final. FIFA eventually announced it would go ahead in 2025, hosted by the United States. It placed a large-scale tournament in a summer which was usually reserved for player recovery. FIFA rejected claims Players' Union, FIFPro, and the World Leagues Association were not consulted. Then came the unique allocation of the 2030 and 2034 World Cup finals. It was decided the 2030 edition would be staged across 3 continents: Africa, Europe, and South America. That meant the 2034 event had to go to Asia or Oceania. With no realistic competition, it effectively guaranteed Saudi Arabia, another country with questions about its human rights record, would host. Saudi Arabia and FIFA, under Infantino, had developed a close relationship. Norway's Football Federation abstained from the process and argued the bidding process undermined FIFA's reforms for good governance and challenged trust in FIFA. In May 2024, it was revealed Infantino received a 33% pay rise, external determined by an independent committee, upon his re-election the previous year. It took his base salary from 1.95 M Swiss francs, 1.7 M pounds, in 2022 to 2.6 M Swiss francs, 2.3 M pounds. On top of that, he was due a bonus of 1.65 M Swiss francs, 1.5 M pounds, which was unchanged. Infantino, who was earning about £1.03 M when first elected in 2016, is now close to Blatter's final annual salary payment of £2.06 M. External, however. A FIFA investigation showed that under Blatter, leading executives were being paid huge bonuses running well into the millions. External in November 2024. With the new-look Club World Cup drawing closer, FIFA unveiled the trophy engraved with a personal tribute. Inspired by the FIFA president Gianni Infantino, it read, "Infantino grows closer to Trump." UEFA was growing frustrated with Infantino's profile and his close relationship with U.S. President Donald Trump. Infantino had been on a diplomatic tour of the Middle East with Trump and turned up 2 hours late for the FIFA Congress. UEFA accused Infantino of prioritizing private political interests and staged a walkout. Then came last summer's Club World Cup, which was characterized by stadiums with swathes of empty seats. Yet when Infantino gathered the media at Trump Tower, he declared it to be already the most successful club competition in the world. In December, the draw for this summer's World Cup was a long, lavish, and outlandish affair. Infantino was front and center, and Trump was awarded the controversial FIFA Peace Prize. Within a week came the announcement of high ticket prices for the finals. Group stage tickets are up to 3 times the price of those for the 2022 World Cup, and the cheapest ticket for the final in New Jersey is £3,119. After a minor climb-down, Infantino defended the prices and said they reflected the public's absolutely crazy demand. Infantino insisted all the money would go back into the game, saying, without FIFA, there would be no football in 150 countries. He still had one more media misstep to go before reaching his 10-year anniversary. In February, he had to apologize after saying it was really special. No British nationals were arrested during the 2022 World Cup. World Cup controversy and backlash to investment plan Infantino came to wider public attention and attracted further criticism during this summer's World Cup, which was staged in the USA, Mexico, and Canada. The tournament made headlines before a ball was kicked, with visas to the United States delayed and even denied for supporters, coaching staff, and officials. In May, Iran's base for the tournament was moved to Mexico after the U.S. made it clear it did not want to host the team because of political tensions between the two nations. That was followed by Somali referee Omar Artan, one of 52 officials appointed to work at the tournament, being refused entry when he arrived at Miami International Airport. FIFA refused to intervene on Artan's behalf, saying it was not involved in the host country's immigration process. When the football did begin, Infantino's relationship with Trump was thrust into the spotlight when the U.S. president asked FIFA to review Folarin Balogun's one-match suspension. U.S. forward Balogun was sent off during the last 32 tie against Bosnia-Herzegovina, but was cleared to feature in the next round after an unprecedented intervention from Trump, which drew widespread criticism. The fallout from the World Cup continued as FIFA opened disciplinary proceedings against Argentina over its behavior after the final defeat by Spain and throughout the tournament. The controversial plan to sell stakes in the organization's major competitions prompted UEFA nations to agree to boycott all future FIFA competitions, then led to one of Infantino's senior advisors resigning. The plans would have allowed FIFA to create a commercial subsidiary to run its main events. External investors would then have been able to buy stakes in the company. FIFA's chief operating officer, Kevin Lammer, said the governing body's own administration had been deceived about the project, and UK Prime Minister Andy Burnham described Infantino as the wrong man to lead FIFA. After a further 2 major confederations spoke out, Infantino released a statement saying it would no longer proceed with the plans, adding it had become clear the project had created divisions that are no longer in the interest of its original objective. UEFA's response was damning, saying it had lost confidence in Infantino's leadership. Despite the controversies, Infantino has made a clear difference to many football nations around the world. He has enriched some of the poorest and smallest nations, proving funding through infrastructure and development. And FIFA has been transparent in publishing the salaries of all top executives and keeping funds within football. After being re-elected unopposed in 2019 and 2023, he is approaching another election year in 2027. Infantino will be able to stand again, even though FIFA statutes limit the president to a maximum of 3 terms. Only time will tell whether that comes to pass. A version of this article was first published in February 2026.